Wake up, everybody. It's time for the On Your Now show. Lady O, you ready to sip it up?
I'm ready to sip it up. You ready to go?
Let's go.
Unstoppable.
Say I am unstoppable. Let me hear you say I am unstoppable. And let the horns play. Hey. Oh yeah. I heard that I would fail. Then I heard you won't prevail. Then I heard all the things that I can't do. And then your strength.
Good morning, everyone. It's time for the On Your Now show. I am your host, Tracy Berry McGee, also known as Divine T.
And I'm your co-host, Yolanda Langford, and you know what they still call me?
Lady O. Lady O.
Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning to you, beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, gorgeous.
I am very excited about today. You know, we're doing some exclusives, of course, but we got a lot to talk about. It's been a minute. We've taken a break.
Taking a break, and everyone needs a break. I always say, when you take your break, it's time for you to rest a little bit. And
Yes,
rest
it
is good. Rest
Yes,
is
it
good.
is. I always say an hour free is an hour for me. But I got to ask you, what you sipping on? What's in your cup?
Well, you know, I am actually drinking some coffee this morning, but what I'm sipping on is some optimism because, you know, I know we have so many new things to share with our owners, so many new exclusives. What about yourself? What are you drinking today?
Oh my goodness, I love the exclusives. I am sipping my black coffee, no sugar, no cream.
Still, Tracy?
Still, always. And I'm sipping on some wellness. You know, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I still feel like it's important for us to focus on wellness, opportunity, knowledge and empowerment, right?
Absolutely. You can't go wrong that way.
You can't go wrong. I also want to talk about during the break, what did you do? Because we got to catch up. Give us some
Let
tea.
me tell you, I have an exclusive. I became a yo-yo again, and in my life and in my family, that is a new grandbaby.
Yes.
So we have new baby in the house. Her name is Mila. Came in at 8 pounds.
Wow.
Oh yes, but she was
Wow.
long. She wasn't chunky, but she was long. And I'll tell you what, I might be a little biased. She's so cute.
She is. I saw pictures of her, y'all. She looked like a little pound of sugar.
Oh my goodness, we call her
She
a
looked
little
heavier.
Eskimo because she has all this hair. Her hair was so long that it came out the little cap.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, yes.
Well, talking about mommies and everything, you know what? We got an exclusive today, y'all. We're going to be focusing on the mommy, the doctor, the congresswoman, the first congresswoman of the first congressional district. Who we talking about?
Well, the one and only Congresswoman Cori Bush. She's our very own.
Yes. We had a great conversation with her. And I love the fact that we were able to really go deep about all the things that are in her book, The Forerunner, y'all. And we'll be able to show everybody that today, won't we?
We will. And I'll tell you what, Tracy, when I was talking to her, her sincerity of what she wanted to tell the world was amazing. And there's nothing like telling your own story.
Telling your own story. She spoke the truth.
She
spoke
did.
The truth.
She did.
You all will hear a little bit about it. But, you know, I think that one of the things that stood out for me was the fact that when you go through her book, you know, she's from St. Louis.
Yes.
She's a true STL girl. You know, matter of fact, she said, say STL built.
Yes.
That's right. And you just learn so much about her, I want to say history, but her herstory, her father, her mother, her family, her children, all the struggles that she went through, and all the things that she overcame. I know she calls herself the Forerunner, but I want to call her a warrior.
Yes, indeed. And I love to hear the stories of the past, but she brought it to the present. And one thing I will tell you, she is always looking to win. She didn't let that disguise her purpose.
Yeah, she kept it real. You all will get a little taste of that, but you know what? I just want to say this. We got to get ready for wellness. It's all about wellness. And when we return, let's get ready for our cup of wellness. It's sponsored by who?
Frazier Automotive.
Take the wheel.
Life is all about the journey. Life's curves, hitting the road fast or slow. Celebrations, anniversaries, and birthdays. Everything in life is about moving forward. Whatever direction you choose to go far, go in style. New or used, go with Frazier Automotive.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day. He's an incredible companion and my best friend.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool.
When I retired from the Navy, I found myself on a void in my life that had been filled by the people that I served with. Tommy really brought an important factor to my life. I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Hey, boss. Okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I said I'm fine.
Since I was little, it was only me and my parents. You think you created family out of characters? Yeah, of course. I'm gonna take that and make it into a song.
Put me to bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. Where you at on the way out? In my head, in my head, in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Pop.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
So now it is time for our cup of wellness. Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm ready to be well.
That's right. Let's sip it up. So I have 5 tips. It's all about creating positivity today. Pull out your journals and write this one down. The first one is love and accept yourself. That's a whole I Define Me moment, isn't it?
It is. It is. You have to love yourself and you have to accept yourself. You can work on yourself, but accept who you are.
Yes, and I think that's something that Cori spoke about, being able to accept who you are and owning it. This second one is think optimistically. We always say positivity
breeds positivity.
That's right. That's what it's all about. Because when you're optimistic, it allows you to get past the dark times. Yes. And we all have them. But we always let our light shine, right?
Right.
Number 3, don't dwell on the past. Own your now.
That's a big one. That's a cup full. I'm sipping off the saucer on that one.
The past is the past.
It is.
I think about, I think it was Hakuna Matata. The past, don't worry. Don't worry. It's the past.
Yes.
And I like it when we stay in the present because that's how you own your now. You can take those deep breaths and breathing in and out and center yourself, right? Number 4 is surround yourself with those who smile. Y'all see that?
I love it. I love it. You know, I love your smile. You always give it to me freely.
Yes.
And that's something that a friend does, you know. You don't necessarily have to say any words. You can just smile at your friend. You can be clear across the room and give your friend an assuring smile.
Yes, but look at hers, y'all. That's the smile right there. It's worth $1 million.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. I appreciate that you can see even behind the smile. And I think oftentimes as women, we can hide behind the smile.
Yes.
But when it's genuine, it's everything. It really is. And number 5 is follow your passion. Follow your passion. What is it that you believe in? What is it that fills up your cup? Those are the things that are necessary for us. And that's what we will continue to do here on the Own Your Now show, right?
And I absolutely love that too, because if you know what your passion is, it's not what someone wants you to do, but follow your passion. Well, I know someone who followed their passion.
Yes.
When we return, we have the Congresswoman Cori Bush.
What a conversation.
Yes, indeed.
It's not about exact measurements or the perfect dice when it comes to cooking. Good food is about feeling, inspired food is about comfort, and pure food is about feeding the soul. You have to have soul to feed people right, so pull up a chair, take a taste, and let Pure Catering do the cooking. Visit Pure Catering Cafe STL at the Missouri Historical Society today.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Please welcome to the stage Congresswoman Cori Bush, Tracy Berry McGee, and Yolanda Langford.
All right now.
Of course. Absolutely.
I think they feel like we need a shoe cam.
I know, right?
Right? Don't play. Can we all take a deep breath? Hey, family. Let's go. Take it all in. Take it all in.
Oh my gosh. Because we definitely are.
Take it all
We
in.
definitely are.
Take it all in. Yes. Yes. Look at me. Okay, so let's get started. We had the privilege of reading this book, and it is delicious. It's full of so much meat for us to eat and just really work through. The Forerunner. Tell us, why the title, The Forerunner?
it took me a while. So let me just tell you all, the first title of the book when I was writing it, and actually I got it years ago, it was the Cori Chronicles. And I was like, but that was the name that I thought it should be, because it was going to chronicle my life. And, simple. And so once we finished the book, once I, handed over the manuscript, I remember the publishers came back and they were like, so, you really you still like the Cori Chronicles? Like, it has and what they were saying, it has so much more to it than just like, it's just chronicling your life, like tell the readers, what's in there, like pull them in some. And the Forerunner was it. And the reason why it was the Forerunner was I've gone through so many bumps, and I've had, so many bruises, so much trauma. And I remember at one point it was like, is this for me? Like, am I bad? Is something wrong with me? Am I, why do I keep going through all of these things? It was like every time I felt like, okay, now I'm getting my life on track, it was 3 or 4 things knocked me backwards. And so as I look back at that, it's like, you know what? I went through so many of these things. I took the punches. I took the pain. And hopefully, if I use my voice enough, if I work with others that are using their voices enough, if we push hard enough, we can make a change so that other people don't go through those things. Yes. And so I went, I went first before other folks that are coming up could go through these things, and hopefully the change that can happen out of it will be that they won't go through those things. And also, it speaks to there is more coming. There is greater coming.
Yes.
So we got to clear the way. Greater is coming. We just got to be ready.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
So many little girls look up to you. When you were a little girl, did you ever think little Cori was going to write a book?
So not until the age 16. So at first, it never crossed my mind. I loved books. Like, I was a book nerd. I was, and it wasn't popular, to be a book nerd at that time. But it wasn't until I was 16, and I write about it in the book, that my boyfriend at the time, his mother gave me a journal one day, a journal and a pen, and she said, the Lord said you're going to write a book. You need to you need to write your story. And I was like, well, why? What? And she said, you're going to go through things, and you need to write them down. And so I did. When she said that, I immediately believed her, like, okay, I am going to write a book one day. And so I took the journal and I started writing. And I ended up filling up 2 journals over the course of the next 2 years. And those journals have very, you think if this book is descriptive.
Yes,
but
it
the
is.
Journal,
Yes, it is.
It's a lot in the journals. But I don't know where those journals are. With me moving so many times and being transient, those journals are either in someone's possession, and it doesn't have my name on it, so they'll probably now be, it's Cori Bush's journal, or they're in the trash.
I think that's one of the points as a licensed therapist. That's truly bibliotherapy, when you're able to write out your feelings.
Yeah.
Many of you probably know about having the diary with the little key, and you said, do not enter.
Do not enter.
I have one. We all have.
Yes,
the flimsy key.
Yeah. It didn't work,
that you didn't even need.
But it's still something about being able to write out how you're feeling. I want to go back to page 17 in your book. I'm thinking about first experiences. I want to read this because I thought this was so awesome. So first off, talking about first experiences, serving your first term as St. Louis Congresswoman. First Black woman and first nurse to represent Missouri. The first woman to represent Missouri's first congressional district. And the first activist from the movement fighting for Black lives to be elected to Congress. When I read this, this resonated for me. She said, I remember the first time I had a Black teacher, Miss Whitfield. Yeah. She was a substitute in the 2nd grade.
She was slim, dark-skinned, with a relaxer and a roller set. She walked in wearing gold jewelry with a makeup beat, hair laid, a cute dress, and heels. The first time she walked into my class, my classmates and I couldn't believe she was there to teach us. No. Your first black teacher, your first black nurse that you saw. Why does representation matter so much for black girls?
Yeah, so I saw something different. So I saw that this is a space where I was used to seeing white teachers. And so that was who teach, that's who'll teach you at school. Mm-hmm. This is what it looks like to go to school. This is who teaches you. And so seeing a black teacher, and a black teacher that was just herself. Yes. She was herself. And I first of all, I felt like I was, like my mom was at school with me. Yes. I did. I felt like my mom was at school with me. So I immediately felt comfortable. I immediately felt like somebody's going to listen, somebody's going to care for me. And I saw who I could be, immediately. I saw who I could be. Mm-hmm. And I knew I wanted to be somebody who loved makeup, I knew I wanted to be somebody who kept their hair, but she was still very, very smart and just amazing. But the nurse as well, when I saw how those patients reacted to her, mm-hmm. And when I mean, see, with sachet and that white dress. And she had her cart and she was like this, and I was like, but she was being herself. She did not change. She didn't try to assimilate. She didn't, and she just was able to be, all her. And I just remember seeing her one day reach over and touch a patient. And the patient was just just having a tough time and just in a lot of pain. And she just put her hand just right on the person's back, just so softly, and leaned down and said something to them. And you just saw them just they just immediately felt better. At least, that comfort was there. And I want to be able to do that for people.
That's right.
Yeah. And you have. And you do. And you do.
Yes.
In the book, you talk about trauma that you experienced as a young girl. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that stuck with me was you said, I thought I was bad.
Yeah.
I thought there was something wrong with me. Talk to young girls out there today that possibly may be going through something and that they may be thinking, I'm bad, or I caused this to happen.
Yeah. And it started, I think when I started to think that, it was when I started to get a little older, bodies started to change, and men started to, catcall and all of that.
Right.
And I felt like it was my fault. I was, okay, so it's what I'm wearing. You gotta, you can't show that. And then I felt like I was disappointing my dad. Here's my dad right here. Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad. And my family, shout out family, all my family here.
We all family.
Yes, we all family, but
they be like,
those ones that got some blood.
That's my cousin.
Right, we got blood. But I felt, from an early age, one thing that we deal with is, being hypersexualized at such an early age. You're 10 years old, you're 12 years old, and grown folks are coming up to you, making these inappropriate remarks. And so I felt like it was something that I was doing. And as I got older, when sexual assault happened, it's like, okay, it was because my shorts were so short that I said that this is what I wanted because I was walking down the street, by this particular place, it looked like maybe this is what I wanted. Because I only met them earlier that day and went on a date with them that night, that means that I was, they thought that I was easy and I wanted. So it's me, I did that wrong, and I internalized that.
I think that as African American girls, we all do. When you think about being hypersexualized, it happens often in our community, and we're body shamed by society, period.
Yes.
And so I think that's something that we got to do better with, because we've all experienced it, and it's trauma. And when as a therapist, we talk about it, everybody triggers go back to that first place when that guy was like, baby, you got hip-making thighs on. And you're like, sir.
Right. Right.
What's wrong with you?
Yes,
You know?
yes.
And so that's real. In one of your chapters, you talked about the treatment you received when you went to the doctor for a particular procedure. How does discriminatory practices in healthcare affect women, especially women of color?
Yeah, you don't go to the clinic, the doctor's office, the hospital, expecting to have a negative experience based upon your skin color or your insurance status, or your gender. And so I went for, you're talking about the abortion.
Yes.
And so I went to have an abortion, which was a very hard thing already to deal with, especially at 18. I had just turned 18, just 2 months before, not even a full 2 months. And so the thing is, it was being there, feeling like these are the professionals. These are the ones that know the most. Okay, you can't talk to me. You're on stage. You go there because like these are the folks that have the expertise. These are the professionals. And so I went for the procedure, and I just remember being told, you're going to go into this room and they're going to counsel you. They're going to talk to you about your options. But you have, like, this is mandated. You have to do this in order to get to the next room. So, okay, I went in thinking that somebody was going to counsel me on, other options. You don't have to make this decision. You can make a different decision. But instead, when I went in there, it was just, knock after knock. It was just, I remember being told, oh, your baby's underweight, so your baby won't do well anyway. You all get pregnant over and over. Like, you can get pregnant again. You all get pregnant easily. You'll have another child. If you have this child, you're going to end up on welfare. You're not going to be able to take care of it. And that's not what I went in there for. It said counseling, and usually counseling is not just you're bad, you're not going to do anything with your life. Right. And so when I walked out of there, it didn't change my mind. It didn't make me think a different way, but when I walked out of there, and then I went into the very next room, because it was like an assembly line. I went into the next room, and there was a room full of young white girls. And I walked into the room, and they were talking about counseling. And they were talking about how nice the person was to them, and how they talked to them about adoption, and talked to them about how there are great families that are willing to, to take, children, and just all the support that's out there. And they were just like, and it was making, and I didn't put this in the book exactly, but it also, some of them talked about how it made them second guess whether they were making the right decision. Like maybe they shouldn't go in and have the procedure done.
Yeah. The conversation shifted totally.
Totally shifted. Yeah. Well, you have had your fair share of losses, but I want to talk about, how do you keep that heart to win, that winning heart? Yeah. What is that's inside of you?
Yeah, first of all, going through all that I've gone through, and the fact that I'm still here is just, that is the thing. Like, I made it through all of those things. I even think back to when my mom, I remember her telling me this story of when I was first born. I was born a couple days past my due date, and I was born black and blue with the cord wrapped around my neck. My mom said when I came out of the womb, and they finally gave me to her, she said I rolled my eyes at her. I don't know if you remember hearing that story, Dad. She said, I rolled my eyes. She said, oh, I knew then that you were going to have a voice. Matter of fact, she told me, talked about this just 2 days ago. But thing after thing that, where things could have happened, where I could have been stopped in my journey, I'm still here.
Yes.
And I think about, like, I'm able to use that and do something with, I have to do something with that because God saved me. He didn't have to, through all the issues, all the problems, all the times when I could have, when I was left for dead, God didn't allow it. Like and then in the midst of one of those times, I write about it in the book, I got saved. I gave my life to the Lord after one of those traumatic experiences. And so, I realized I realized that if I could live through all of that, and if the Lord can still see fit to keep me here, that I have to repay him for all that he's done for me. And so that's the first thing. Every day, that's what it is. It's just like I have to push and push and push because I got to repay the Lord for saving me.
Every day.
Every day. And then also I think about people, there are people hurting worse.
Yes.
People hurting like I was hurting, and people who are hurting worse, and they are today. Like right now, somebody is hurting. Right now, somebody had just went through sexual assault. Right now, somebody just went through a situation where they were abused by a partner. Somebody is sleeping on the street 2 nights. Somebody is hungry today. Over so many issues, and we haven't fixed this stuff. And so, if other folks are too afraid or don't want to mess up their reputation or whatever it is that keeps them from pushing hard enough, I will do it. I don't care.
Yes.
And I've seen, I'll say this too, and I talk about it in the book. I write about it in the book. I saw the example, with my mom and dad and how much they helped so many people. My daddy is in the book. I know you haven't seen it, but it's in the book. I only wanted to get to school on time. I wanted to get to school on time, but my dad, if he saw someone walking, and it looked like they, maybe slept outside, and he's going to stop and go talk to them. And I'm looking at, I want to keep my perfect attendance. And he stops and he's going to take care of that person, get him a meal, and all of those things. And so I saw the example as well.
Yes, I love that when you talk about your family and you talk about family style dining, how all of you all sat around the table and you would have dinner together.
Yeah.
That's something we're missing now in our communities.
Yes.
But oh yeah, and I got to put in there the records. Peaches, girl, I remember Peaches with the crane. Peaches records on West Florida.
I got pictures.
Y'all gotta read it. I want to talk. I have to also say, your book. When a little girl may have read, like, The Coldest Winter Ever, this is real. Yes. And this is your life. This is not, this is good. This is her life. And for me, even, it was triggers because I'm a licensed therapist, and so many stories are not told at different ages and stages. So I know that this is a healing. Domestic violence in the United States, approximately 6.6 million women and 5.8 million men report intimate partner violence victimization annually. In the city of St. Louis, Missouri, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reports that approximately 2,200 incidents of domestic violence are reported annually, but thousands are not reported. Not only that, domestic violence evictions. The law was updated in 2019. It states that victims were legally allowed to terminate their leases, but in the book, you speak about evictions prior to this law. This is why game changes, change game. How did that impact your situation? And why is it that, people say, why don't we report?
Yeah, I was I didn't even have a voice to say, hey, this is what's happening. And again, I'm not doing anything bad. I'm not doing anything wrong. Why am I being punished for this? Like, get rid of this person. I'm not, it's not me. But there was nobody to talk to. There was no, because you don't talk about domestic violence. You don't, and the way I remember, what I would hear back then was, like, if you are being abused by your partner, it's because you did something. And so you keep it, and that's how I saw it. And it's totally wrong. Let me just make sure that's on the record. It's not right, but that's why I didn't say anything. And so when I finally did, try to to let the landlord know, because I didn't want to be evicted from my apartment. Yeah, there was absolutely no talking about it, because it was just, you're bringing destruction to my property, and so you got to go. And when I said, well, you know, I don't have anywhere to go today, you know, and you know, I wasn't going to go, you know, run back to my dad's house and you know, and disrupt their home, but that's all I had. I had, you know, and the issue is, if people don't feel safe, you know, if people don't feel safe, then so it's one thing, it's hard enough to open up about it. But if you have put yourself in a position to where people don't feel safe around you to talk to you, like, that's a whole other level that we don't talk about too.
Right.
You know, because when we have those conversations,
your house.
yes, when we have those conversations, you know, oh, you know, such and such is weak, or such, you know, that kind of stuff, then it makes people not want to talk to you. You know, and with intimate partner violence, you're not ready to leave until you're ready.
Yes.
Until you're ready.
You know,
Right.
No matter how many times somebody says, you know, like, oh, girl, like, get it together. Like, are you, you know, or you're better than this.
Or if that was me.
If that was me.
That was me.
And I think that oftentimes when you think about love, like, we are taught to say, I love you to everybody.
Yeah.
And as little girls, we have to start talking about looking in the mirror and saying, I love me.
I love me.
You know, and that's what we love about you.
Yes.
That you know that you have done that work when it comes to that.
You spoke on unchecked discrimination. Now, you know, when I was growing up, it was, you're cute for a black girl. Or you speak well. Talk to us about unchecked discrimination, because I know you can check some folks, Cori. Okay?
You know, I went through so much of that too. Like, you know, but that was the thing. I remember it was the thing, you know, when we were smaller, it wasn't the thing to be dark, you're dark skinned, you know. And so but at home, like, that was never a thing. Like, my parents never made you know, my sister, I don't know if my sister's here, but my sister is, you know, is light skinned, you know, and people would put us together and they would call us salt and pepper, because we, you know, that's what people used to call us, salt and pepper. But you know, but my parents never made a difference in our colors, So I didn't understand that until I went to school, and then it was, you know, we want the light skinned kid, but. We still see that today. That's still a thing, that colorism today. And so you know, I remember running for office, and I remember more than once being cropped out of a photo because they said that I was too dark.
What?
And actually told me that I was too dark, so they took me off the photo. It was me and other folk candidates, or me and other elected officials on candidates and elected officials and they took me off.
And that's not okay.
And
it's not. That is not okay.
It's not okay. You know, but now I speak to it. That's the thing. You know, it's one thing if it kept that to myself. I don't keep this stuff to myself anymore. I speak about it, and I speak about it. Because it's happening to other people. And so I need people that do that to know. I want you to think about it. When you get ready to take that photo and you like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to take it, but we're going to get... Now you're going to think twice about somebody calling you out. I wish I knew who those folks were. But when we leave, but the thing is, we don't realize the scars that we are leaving in people, and we don't realize how that attacks people's self-esteem. It does. You know that, but so we check that stuff at the door now. Like, we need to let people know. I am one to say we cannot leave people bleeding. Like, we have all of these people walking around with these open wounds, and we put a Band-Aid on top of it, and it's just weeping. It's just bleeding around. Like, we can't do that. You check discrimination at the door. You let people know, because the other thing is, they're not accountable if we don't speak up and tell them.
I'm like, is it the preacher in it? Is it the doctor in it? Is it the congresswoman? I'm like, yes. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, you know, survivor of sexual assault, DV, experiencing racial injustice, being black, being a woman. You know, I want to talk about the strong black woman syndrome, and we don't even have time. What I want people to understand is why therapy is so essential, because you could not have written this book if you didn't do the work.
I could not. And I know people mean well, but sometimes hearing, you're so strong. Sometimes it feels like, dang, you went through a lot of stuff, but you better keep going, is what it kind of feels like, or it's, it feels like you're not taking the time to see me. You're so strong, but am I?
Right.
I'm me being still here. You don't see me balled up in a corner. Does that mean, because even if I'm balled up in a corner, the fact that I pull it back together, I'm still like, that does not mean that you're not, that you're not strong. So I think, so that syndrome, that strong Black woman syndrome is very difficult to overcome that, because I don't mind people knowing that I have tough days, because sometimes people got to know, because sometimes policy violence caused it. Yes. Sometimes I'm having a tough day because this society we got to fix the problems of this society, and because those things aren't fixed, we have to walk through it every day. I started therapy after the sexual assault in 2016, and had never thought about going to therapy. I'm a preacher, so you don't go to therapy. You go to your church pastor, but let me just say, I still have that same therapist. Amen. I still get therapy. That therapy, look, let me say this. If you got a toothache, you don't go to the clerk at the city hall to go get your tooth fixed. Well, when I need gas, I don't go to the grocery store in the tomato aisle looking for gas to fill up the car.
That's right.
I need, and the thing is this, the same way, and I know I love the Lord, absolutely, and the same way that He has given folk the mind and the intelligence to make cars, to make shoes, all of these things, is the same way He gives somebody the wisdom and the knowledge and the insight to be able to help heal you on the inside, because if folks can do the work to heal you on the outside, it can also happen on the inside. And so I'm a strong proponent for people going to get therapy, because what I learned in therapy, there were coping skills that helped me get through. There were coping skills that I learned, how to see things, because I didn't realize I was hypervigilant. I didn't realize that I was depressed, that I was having dissociation and all. I didn't know, but she gave me the tools to be able to catch it when it comes. She gave me the tools to know the triggers so that I could catch myself, and it took me months to get out of that place. But had it not been.
All right.
Yes.
Breathe. That part. Yes. Woo. Can we take a deep breath? Woo. I know we need to wrap up, and we're wrapping up because, y'all, Dr. Love got some more conversation. We got some more conversation. We're going to do this quick speed round. It's something we do on the On Your Now show. Do it. Real quick, y'all. Coffee or tea?
Yeah, tea.
Just tell us one word when I say the word. Family.
Love.
Sisterhood.
Come on, girl.
One word, Cori.
One word.
I don't know, because the word I'm thinking of when you said sisterhood was sisterhood.
Well, say that.
Find another word.
That's
it.
Oh, my ink pen. Chinese food or pizza?
No, Chinese.
Okay,
football or baseball? Go Cardinals!
I gotta go with the Cardinals.
Okay.
Because our Rams left.
All right, and the last question is, I'm just gonna say STL, and what would you say?
Built.
All right. So, what we want you all to know, that this is our Congresswoman, and she always will be the first person to drop the T. She's going to show you what love looks like and sisterhood. And always remember that she might like Chinese food and pizza, football and baseball, And she will always love the STL because she is STL built.
That was amazing. You all guys, you all are so amazing.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it. Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bravo to you, young lady.
Bravo to you. We did a great job.
It was just so fulfilling just to sit there and talk with Cori Bush.
Yes.
Let me say that again. Congresswoman
Cori Bush, the first. I thought that just to be able to do the Q&A and to talk to her, and this experience, let me just say something. It was hard to put the book down. Was it hard for you?
Oh, it was hard for me. My family, are you still reading? I said, I am. And not just because of the interview, but because of the content. I'm telling you, it is a must read.
It is. And I think that this is something that, as a woman, I know we talk about her being a congresswoman, but for me, there were so many things that I had to think about when I was growing up and things that I've seen women go through. Yes. Being a therapist, she always talked about making sure that you take care of yourself and having to get back up and push yourself through the struggles. You know, therapy is so necessary.
It is necessary. And one thing she said is if you read the book, when you read the book, you will hear her speak of a therapist that she went to for an event that occurred in her life. She still has the same therapist.
Yes.
So not only is she showing us you get therapy when something happens, but continual therapy will keep you balanced.
Well, I want to ask you, you know, when she talked about this being her memoir, Chronicles of Cori, she said maybe, have you ever thought about you might write a book?
I have, and you know what I always say my book would be called? Getting Back in the Game.
Oh my goodness, I guess you all heard exclusive.
That's an exclusive. Yeah, I always say that because when my kids were smaller, I was what the world considered a stay-at-home mom. And then I had to get back in the game. I got back in the game of business, got back in the game of employment, got back in the game of just being myself. So let me tell you something. I'm like Cori, I like to win.
Well, I think we're winning. Coming into this next season, we're back in the game. We're doing a lot of new things. And you want to give them a little tea? Will we have Dish of the Week?
We will have Dish of the Week. And you know what? I'm thinking this time we will actually do a little creating in studio. So, you know, a lot of people came up to me. They said, Yolanda, I love the tips, but we need to know what it looks like. So I said, I can make that happen. And we will have Lady Yo 101. Every week, I hope to give a tip, just some etiquette tips, some tips of just being in your purpose. But I want to do Lady Yo 101. How about you, Tracy?
Well, I think that it's time for us to focus a little bit on fashion. You know, it's hard for me, the whole thing about style and what that looks like, a little
Let me
style.
tell you, Tracy. Fashion is something you buy. Style is something you have. And you have style.
Well, you know what? I love this. Check this out.
Yes.
Fashion is something you buy, and style is something you own.
Own your now. And I think people, when they think of fashion, fashion, they just think of clothes. But when you think of style, the crown, your glasses, your pearls, that's saying Tracy.
That's my friend. And we'll keep checking on our strong friends. We got so many tips coming up. I hope that you all continue to watch us because we got a lot of things coming together. Not only that, we're including our nonprofit and all the things that our girls are doing. You know, we got the wellness mobile,
yes,
entrepreneurship, all kind of good things that our girls will be doing. They might even see a commercial. Huh? So make sure that you all stay connected to us because we have a lot of, I want to say, tea that's going on. I got to ask you, what is your affirmation word for today?
Well, today my affirmation word is love. Love will get you through a lot of things, and love has gotten me through a lot of things. Love is encouraging. It's a light in the dark. So my word today is love.
Well, my word is going to be joy because being here today, it just brings me joy that we're able to start over again and again and again. So I just want to say, I know we started earlier with what's in your cup. I want you to continue to sip a little bit of optimism and understand that when you fill up your cup with the Own Your Now show, it's all about wellness because we're going to continue to bring you love, peace, and joy, and what else?
Well, you know, vibrant vibes.
That's right. That's right. So keep owning your now, you guys, and we'll see you same time and same space right here on the Own Your Now show. Right, Lady O?
Absolutely. I can't wait to see you, everyone. Keep sipping peace, love, and positivity.
And remember, don't forget to own your now.